In this episode, I'm walking you through exactly how I went from one-on-one services where I was burnt out, constantly trying to get people on sales calls and riding that entrepreneur roller coaster from literal hell because my income was so up and down, to then saying I cannot do business this way anymore and packaging up everything I knew and building out an online membership, which got my clients the same, if not better results, and eventually was the ticket to finally making high five-figure months on repeat. And in this episode, I am breaking down the exact 6 steps that I took to do it. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help female entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of $1 Million Memberships Podcast. Before we get into this episode, I have to say we are getting close to that time, and I am so excited. I feel like it's actually like we've been working on this for a while. Now I finally get to start talking about it. But that is Black Friday. Black Friday is coming, and before you start skipping ahead, you need to listen to this because this is something you just don't want to miss. Black Friday isn't happening now. It's happening at the end of November. However, I am letting you in on some of the secrets of what's going to be coming up so you can start prepping, get excited, because they're honestly that good. You do not want to miss it. Historically, if you've been following me for a while, Black Friday, you know Black Friday is always when we do our best deals of the year. So anything that we've done throughout this year, you always just know that those are good. We don't fuck around when it comes to bonuses and deals and accessibility points and all of the things. We like to play big leagues there. However, you know that no matter what is happening throughout the year, you know that Black Friday is always going to top it just a little bit, maybe a lot of bit, but it's always going to top it because Black Friday is when we always make sure that is the best of the best. That is always when we offer the best accessibility, the best bonuses, everything. And this year, we have over 4 insane opportunities to start, grow, and scale your online membership community. So like I said, the deals start dropping in November, but the wait list is actually starting now. So if you go to the show notes of this episode, you will see a link to add your name to the wait list. When you put your name on that wait list, you will automatically get an email, and it's going to actually give you a breakdown of exactly what is coming. So bonus number 1, bonus number 2, bonus number 3, option number 1, all of the things. And the reason why you want to get your name on the wait list is 2 reasons. Number 1 is that the wait list gives you the first peek to these deals so that you can actually start getting ready and prepping. It's absolutely the worst thing ever when someone just hits you with a deal where it's okay, surprise, this is what's happening. It's so good, but you got to get in today or else you can't get in. And you're like, fuck, I actually really wanted to get into that, but I wasn't prepped for it. I needed more time. And I mean, we like to do those sometimes too, but Black Friday, again, we don't mess around. We want you to be so prepped for this because you are going to want to get into that. And then reason number 2 of why you want to be on the wait list is that our top deal of the year. So we have Black Friday, right? That is the top of the top, the best of the best in terms of deals. However, with Black Friday, we actually have 4 different deals throughout November. And how it works is that the wait list gets the best deal. So you actually, on top of the best Black Friday deals that we are doing, by being on the wait list, you get your own special deal that tops all of them. So not only are you getting the best deal of the year because it's Black Friday, but those of you who are on the wait list, and make sure you hear me when I say this does not go out to the public, not after it goes out to you, not anytime. It just doesn't go out to the public. It is only for the wait list and the wait list alone. If you are looking to start, grow, or scale, or all of the above, your online membership community this year, go get your name on the wait list, get those deals to your inbox, go get your name on the wait list. We will shortly be sending out the Black Friday waitlist details. Just keep your eye on your inbox. Make sure that you check your promotional or your spam folder if you don't see an email from me, and mark it as a primary or a safe email just so you don't miss any future ones when we actually do start getting you you ready to be able to join us with one of these deals. Again, link is in the show notes of this episode. Okay, let's get into this episode. Today we're talking about the 6 steps that I personally took to transition from one-on-one services to an online membership without sacrificing member results. I think this part's really important because for a lot of people, that is just such a fear and sticky point. Is the reason why people stay in one-on-one, and you might relate to this, is that you feel like your one-on-one services are just like the best of the best, right? That's how people get the best, the most support from you, the best coaching or services or whatever it is that you provide. You would never be able to offer them or get them the same amount of results if they weren't actually directly working with you. However, what ends up happening, especially as you're trying to scale and grow a business, is that you only have so much time. You can only book so many calls on your calendar. You can only respond to so many messages in a working day and still get the other stuff done inside of your business, right? Still get your content out there, still talk and work with your team, still do some sales planning. Like there's so many different buckets that you have to do as a business owner. And when you are only working one-on-one, there is a cap to growth there. And then where you really get stuck is getting to a place where you aren't proactive enough to start expanding your business into something like an online membership, an online membership community, an online mastermind, which can fall under the membership umbrella, all of the things. And so what ends up happening is that you get so stuck with the one-on-one, you're busy because you're working with all these one-on-one clients, but you have all these other things to do inside of your business, but you weren't proactive enough to actually start the membership, start the community. And then you're at a standstill, and then you've pigeonholed yourself. And this is where you become resentful. This is where you feel like you just cannot go on in this business anymore. This is where the thoughts start to come up of, oh my God, can I actually continue this? Is this how I want my life to look 10 years from now? I cannot imagine another day of this, let alone another freaking year of this. And then the resentment starts to come in. And then you working with your clients and how you show up with your clients starts to fall short a little bit. And it is just a downward spiral from there. And why so much of this happens is because we're too afraid to be proactive enough to start the membership community, because we just don't feel like it's going to be enough. And honestly, if you're feeling that right now, you are not alone. I can literally say this so easily into the podcast mic right now, because not only have I felt this, but I've talked to, I feel like by this point, hundreds of people who have been in this. Like, this is almost like if you don't get support going into a membership, this is almost where everyone gets stuck. Like, it's just one of those things where you can just see coming from a mile away if you've already been there. And so, like, again, honestly, I feel like I've probably talked to over 100 women who have been in this exact spot that I'm talking to you about right now. And so you are not alone. And like I said, this was me too. I mean, before we get into the actual 6 steps, I'll give you some background here really, really quick, because I know I have said it on recent episodes, but really quick. I started my business in 2017. I started one-on-one coaching. And so I was kind of doing what everyone does when they start one-on-one coaching. I was constantly, and I mean constantly, in the DMs trying to book sales calls, nurture new leads, all of the things. Eventually, not right away, but eventually I started to get busy enough that when I did have clients, I was so busy because I was constantly on calls. My calendar was absolutely booked solid. When I wasn't on calls, I had like a pile up of Voxer messages and messages from one-on-one clients that I needed to then support. On the back end, I also had client check-ins to do and reviews to do and emails to answer. And then on top of that, I had to create content and all of these things. I hardly had time to work inside of my business. But then you know what would happen is 3 months, it was like clockwork. It was like this 3-month roller coaster, up and down and up and down. When I was really busy for 3 months, AKA how long my client contracts were, I was busy and I had no time for anything else. I didn't have time to be in the DMs. I didn't have time to really be making really good content and marketing and selling and all of the things. But then when client contracts would start to end, I found myself not having any leads or new clients to come in because I didn't have the time to actually nurture the leads and get new people in. And so once I had my clients start ending their contracts, I was just like, oh my God, I'm looking 3 months ahead into my business and like, where's my money? How am I going to pay my bills? Holy shit, I don't have any more payment plans coming out. And it was just this constant of like, okay, now I'm going to super hustle and I'm going to be in the DMs and I'm going to get these sales calls. And it was just like this constant up and down and up and down. And I was so tired. I was so stressed. I was so drained. My nervous system was fucking shot and it was not fun. And this was where I really decided I needed to do things differently. And I went all in with creating a signature membership program. And this is where absolutely everything changed. So let's get into the process of how I actually did that, because like I said, I was busy and then I was stressed and I was constantly either working with clients or constantly looking for clients. And so how the hell did I have the time? Like, what did I actually do? What did the steps look like to actually transition from working like that to then being able to transition everything into an online membership? That is what this episode is. Let's break down those 6 steps. So step number 1, what I did is I tracked everything I was repeating. And I mean absolutely everything. So when I say repeating, I mean with my clients. Every single thing that I found myself saying on repeat with one-on-one clients, I wrote it down. So for me, when I did my first transition into online memberships, I was a fitness coach at that time. And so for me, it was just like those basic things, like how much water should I be having? I'm really struggling with getting my morning routine on lock. What can I do there? Like things like that. How many vegetables to eat? Just those things that you just find you are repeating all of the time. So I tracked everything. And the only thing I did to do that is I just had a plain Google Doc. I had that Google Doc bookmarked just on my desktop thing. I don't even know what that's called, a bookmark bar. I had it bookmarked on there so that every single time I was working, I could just easily click into it. And I just wrote it. It was messy. It wasn't organized. I just wrote every single thing down and then I went and I organized it later. So that's the first step, is just tracking absolutely everything that you're repeating. Step number 2 is I defined the starting point. So basically I got really, really clear on where I ideally wanted my clients to be before working with me and what I really wished that they already knew coming into a working container so that we could move fast together. Number 2 is I defined both the starting point and then also where I wanted my clients, what I wanted my clients to be able to do by the time they quote unquote were finished or had the final result. So basically what this is I got really, really clear on where I wanted my clients to be at their starting point. So was there anything that I wished that they kind of knew before they started working with me, or can they start from a very blank slate? What does that look like? I got very, very clear on what is that starting point. I also got very clear on, does everyone start at the starting point or do people have multiple starting points? If so, if people have multiple starting points, I'm going to almost make like a little map. I'm going to be starting, okay, well, this person could be starting here. This person could be starting here. Ideally, this is where I want everyone to be ending up. And I'm really almost looking at this from like left to right of, okay, where is the starting point? What are some middle milestones? What are some middle points? Where is the end point? Essentially, this was kind of the start of coming up with what my success path was. How would I personally know that my clients were successful working with me? Number 3 was I brain dumped my entire methodology. Basically, everything that I wanted my clients to know or that they needed to know in order to actually go from that starting point to that ending point. What are all of the things in between that they needed to know? So like for instance, with $1 Million Memberships Club, which is my monthly membership, our members need to know how to build and design an actual membership. What goes into a membership? What are the different options that can go into different types of memberships? Low ticket memberships, high ticket memberships, memberships with courses on them, memberships without courses, all of the things. They need to know how to build a membership. On top of that, our clients and members also need to know how to onboard new members. They need to know how to sell their membership, how to actually get hype and grow awareness around their membership brand. They need to know what They need to know how they can consistently sell their membership online and on social media and behind the scenes. Our members need to know how to build a sales engine, and so they're constantly selling in the background. They need to know how to really work within a membership, so just weekly calendars and schedules and the cadence there, what actually works to create a really engaged community. They need to understand retention and retention practices when it comes to actual memberships and the differences between memberships and one-on-one services. All of the things. There's so many little points because ideally our starting point and ending point for $1 Million Memberships Club is to go from no membership or just an idea, or well, is one of our starting points anyways, all the way to a multiple 6 and 7 figure online membership. And so you can probably guess there's a lot of intricacies and big topics and things that need to actually be taught between that starting point and that ending point. And so that is where I brain dump everything. So for you, what are your starting points? What are your ending points, or what is your ending point? And what is everything that needs to go in there? Frameworks, habits, tips, tools, just everything. So what you're going to do is you're just going to brain dump absolutely everything again into one big giant Google Doc. Google Doc is my absolute best friend. Just brain dump it in there. It can be organized after, doesn't matter. Brain dump absolutely everything. Number 4 was I then took that huge brain dump. And when I say huge, I mean it's going to be huge for most people. It's going to be massive. I turned that into categories and buckets. So when I created my very first membership, basically you're just taking everything that's in your brain of what you want your people to know, what you have to teach them, what they have to know in order to get to said result. You are then going to take that and turn it into categories and buckets. And obviously this is speaking to a membership that does have some sort of like methodology or learning process involved in it. If your membership is just a community, it's not necessarily going to be this in depth. This is more so going to be if you are providing one-on-one services where you're really coaching and teaching people how to do something and you want to turn that into a membership. So personally, when I first did this, I turned all of those messy brain dumps, methodologies, frameworks, habits, tips, tools, all the things. I turned that into categories. And from that doc, what I ended up doing personally is I ended up splitting everything into 5 main buckets, I think it was. And those 5 main buckets ended up being the foundation of my first membership program. So I think when I say buckets, I think one of them was nutrition. I think the other one was fitness. I think the other one was habits and routines. There was a mindset in there, and there was one more that I can't think of right now. Maybe time management. I can't remember. But there was 5 buckets. And so obviously this is going to be completely different for you. You might have 2, you might have 3, you might have 10, totally unique to your membership. So now at step 4, we have something here. Now we actually have a framework. We have a way to really be able to say, okay, even if someone doesn't work with me one-on-one and they follow this framework, they follow these steps, and I lay these steps out for them inside of a membership in a way that they're going to be able to follow and understand and really implement, and it's built for their user experience, then why would they not get the same, if not better, results as one-on-one? It's the same information, they're getting the exact same stuff, and they're now getting a community within a membership, so they have more people supporting them. Why would they not get the same results, or if not better results, than when they are working with me one-on-one? So once I had step 1 through 4 in, this is where the building, this is where the brainstorming, all of the things come into place. Now I have everything actually into categories and buckets. I actually can see my success path, where they have to start, what they need to really accomplish inside their journey of getting to that final result. And then I've actually turned everything into categories and buckets so I can organize it for them. I can organize it into a course backend, all of the things. From there, number 5, to actually get this membership up and off of the ground, that took building hype before it was even built. And what this means was that I showed my audience essentially behind the scenes of me creating everything with the membership, the structure of it, what it came with, what it was going to look like the aesthetic of it, why I was so excited about it. I was showing the modules being created. I was sharing selfies of me recording the videos or like setting my phone up while I was creating the videos and showing sneak peeks of that. Just absolutely everything that I could think of, especially that first membership that I built, everything I could think of. I was sharing the shit out of it. I wasn't making it something that was a surprise is coming. I'm building something behind the scenes. Stay tuned. It's so exciting. Like, I mean, that can pique a little bit of interest, but when I actually took my audience behind with me and really allowed them to see the build, that's when people got excited. They really felt like they wanted to be part of that and a part of something. And they kind of already felt like they were a part of it because I was taking them along for the ride. You know what I mean? So I was really showing my audience everything. And I ended up doing a big pre sell with founding member bonuses for that membership and launched it before it was actually even built. And this is something we actually teach inside of $1 Million Memberships Club. We have an entire strategy to do this. This is something that kind of goes against what most people's instinct would be, is to sell something that's not built. But I almost like to think of, when like new condos are going up or new apartments are going up and you can go and you can buy the pre-sale, right? Where you're just putting down a deposit or you're putting down a whatever amount and then your place isn't actually built for another year, but you got this like amazing deal and it was worth it and all of the things. It's kind of like that. Like to look at it that way is that you're getting in on a pre-sale at this amazing founding members bonus. Yes, it's not ready and available to you right when you purchase it. However, you got it at a time where it's going to be the lowest price. It's the founding member investment, and you're going to get some kind of amazing bonus for signing up and then waiting a little bit for the membership to actually open the doors. So this is great because this builds even more momentum. You can start showcasing people who have been signing up. You can start really building hype and community and getting people excited before they even start. And it just builds some serious momentum around this new membership before it's even ready. And it gives you time to really have that proof of concept where it's just like, okay, yeah, people are actually buying this thing. My marketing is hitting, or my marketing is hitting. And now I actually have the time to create in the back end, but I'm still having money come in. So maybe I can put some of this money into more marketing and really fill this thing up. That's like the best case scenario. That's what you're really aiming for. And that's what we are teaching inside of $1 Million Memberships. We show you exactly how to do that. This can also, on the flip side, kind of show you if people aren't signing up. This really shows you, okay, maybe this isn't what people want, or maybe my messaging just isn't hitting the way it needs to hit. Good thing I haven't built this entire thing when maybe I've been missing a mark on something. Okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to reevaluate what I have so far and make some tweaks, maybe do some market research. And then I'll bring it back to my audience and see what the response is like. And then I'll build the thing out when it actually has a good response. And again, if you're going to be joining us inside $1 Million Memberships Club in November when we open, you will have this strategy, which is great. So even if you don't have a membership built, you are still able to sell your membership while you are building it. And number 6 is, once I had this going, I was building the hype, I was getting some people signed up for founding members. Number 6 was I went all in on this. I actually stopped promoting one-on-ones and I poured everything into my membership. And this step I feel is really important, especially when you are trying to go all in and with your membership being your signature. Like if you're really, this is obviously going to be different if your membership isn't your primary offer, but if you're listening to this and you want your primary offer to be a membership, you want to make biggest chunk of your income from your membership and not trading more time for money, getting on one-on-one calls all the time. Like you really want things to come from your membership where you can constantly be signing new clients every single day and your work, your time on the calendar doesn't actually change. You just want everything to go into your membership. This step is really important then, is going all in on actually just nurturing that and making that what you're known for, making that what your call to actions are anytime you go to sell anything, making all of your marketing efforts really go towards this membership. And again, I stopped promoting one-on-ones. I still had one-on-one clients, like just like today, I still work with one-on-one clients, but you don't really see me promoting it. Maybe you'll see me promoting something on Black Friday, but that's like a special little thing because it's Black Friday. But for the most part, I really don't promote one-on-ones or anything else at this point. I'm constantly just pouring everything into the membership and the signature program that we offer. And I still technically have one-on-ones because when your messaging, your marketing is so clear on what you do, and you just have this one solid offer that you are marketing and putting all of your effort into, and people are really understanding what it is that you do and how you can help them, you will get people reach out to you and say, "Hey, I love what you do. Is there any chance that you work one-on-one?" Or another thing that you will find is that a lot of your people who are inside of your membership, they are like your closest people, right? They're your community. They're the people that you're actually working with. They get to see more of you. They get to really experience what you do and what it's like working with you. A lot of the times you're going to find that those people are going to be the ones who sign up for one-on-ones or any other services that you do have if you still plan on offering maybe even like a limited amount of those for a higher price point. Right. So by putting everything into your membership, as long as the people who would be right for your membership would also essentially be right for one-on-one, maybe at a different level, but for the most part, if they'd kind of be like the same type of ideal client or audience type, then by putting all of your focus into a membership, you're going to find it's just going to be such an easy, natural lead into your one-on-one if you do decide to have that open still. So with this ended up just being the absolute best thing for my business. Clients got an incredible, amazing results because the processes and the success path and everything for them to actually see success was all laid out. It was all there. It was all organized. It was all perfectly planned. It was all structured. All of the frameworks, everything was perfectly laid out for them to have this really easy, smooth, I shouldn't say easy, but smooth and straightforward success path. They stayed longer because they were in a community. Remember what I was saying earlier, how my income was like every 3 months because client contracts drop off every 3 months? Well, that's something that's really common with one-on-one or start-stop contract type of agreements, is that if someone has a contract and it's 6 months or 3 months, even if they're not necessarily at the peak of where they could be or want to be, because their contract ended, they feel like it almost feels like it doesn't feel like it's easy to keep the momentum up and like re-sign with that person and just keep going for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it almost feels like a dead stop and then a big, oh my God, I have to do another recommitment type of thing. Like that feels like a lot. It's almost like taking a car and having it at a dead stop and then having to push it from neutral. And like that first push is so hard to get it rolling. And then once it's rolling, it feels a little bit easier. And when you have a membership, it's kind of just like always rolling, right? People are like, yeah, my payment comes out this month. This is what I get. This is like my investment for myself every single month in my business or in my health or whatever it is. It's like a gym payment. It's like, yes, this comes out because this is me pouring into me every single month. I know it's coming and this is just my thing. With one-on-one coaching or one-on-one services, it's just like that constant start stop. Yeah, maybe their payments come out for 3 months and it's normal, but then they have to decide if they want to re-sign for another 3 months. And then they're just like, oh my God, like it just feels harder for some reason. When I actually implemented the membership, people just stayed longer because they were in the community. It wasn't that resistance. Plus, they had community in there. They wanted to stay with the people that they were growing with and starting to get to know and all of the things. They also committed to their journey more because of the community. They say the best way to grow in anything that you're trying to grow in is by getting into a community. So you're trying to grow your business, get into a community. You're trying to learn Bitcoin, go find a community. You're trying to really stay consistent with yoga, go to a yoga studio. It's just anything that you're trying to do, getting into a community is like the hack. And so for my members, what I saw was people committed so much more to their own journey because they were in this community. And then just for my side of things, my income snowballed month after month instead of dipping up and down like it did with one-on-one because I wasn't constantly getting people leaving. I was getting people coming in. Of course, people are going to leave inside of memberships. Like That's completely normal. But for the most part, your income is really snowballing and snowballing and snowballing rather than just the start and stop. And that just makes such a night and day difference, especially when it's snowballing and snowballing and snowballing without you actually having to put in more work and more effort. That just gets to stay the same because you have a membership. And so not only was it just absolutely the biggest game changer for my business and obviously why I do what I do now, it's just so beneficial if it's set up the right way. I think this is also where people can get a bad taste in their mouth with memberships is if they're just not set up the right way. Like if people don't build them right, if they don't actually create the success paths or all of the actual little intricacies that go into making sure that your customer does have a really good journey and does have a really good member experience. If those things aren't in place, then yeah, they can fucking suck. And that's unfortunately what can give memberships a bad name. But when you create them intentionally with these things in them where you can really match it up, like really almost line the two up on paper, your one-on-one services and your membership, and look side by side, they should be able to yield the exact same result, if not more, for the most part. Obviously, there's going to be some nuances there depending on what your one-on-one does. So I'm not going to blanket statement that, but I do want to say for a lot of people listening, a lot of you listening right now, you should be able to match those two up pretty closely with having these things in place. If you are wanting to start a membership, or maybe you have an online membership right now that you're really looking to grow, whether that's getting to your first 100 members or whether that's getting to your first 1,000 members. Maybe you have 400 members and you want to get to 1,000. Maybe you have 1,000, you want to get to 5,000. Wherever you're at, we have different stages and phases for you inside of $1 Million Memberships Club. So I really encourage you to take a look at our $1 Million Memberships Club page. If you actually click on the waitlist page that we have here on the show notes, it will take you to our $1 Million Memberships Club because we do have enrollment opening up in November for Black Friday. And again, like I said, our Black Friday deals are the absolute best time of the year to get in. Every single Black Friday, I work for like months behind the scenes before Black Friday hits to get these things set up because I'm such a sucker throughout the year. I always want to give like really fun and exciting deals, but I have to kind of hold back a little bit because I'm like, okay, if I give too much in April, I can't like cannibalize our Black Friday because that one always has to be the best. It's a thing. When I say get on the wait list, get on the wait list because the wait list is going to get its own special bonus that no one else is getting. And it is something you just do not want to miss. If you're thinking about getting in, you may as well get in with the wait list so that you can get the absolute #1 deal that we're going to be offering. You can find the link for the wait list in the show notes of this episode. Other than that, I recorded this episode at night. Normally I record in the morning. And so I am tired. I gotta go to bed. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.